Good news, everyone, here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. DeMarcus Lawrence has gotten a new contract from the Dallas Cowboys that is not nearly as expensive as his previous one. This deal replaces the final 2 years at about $40 million in base salary that Tank Lawrence was due. Instead, he now gets a 3-year, $40 million contract. $30 million of that is guaranteed. The cap hit for this upcoming season for Tank Lawrence is going to be $14 million. It was going to be $27 million. So with this particular move, the Cowboys have been able to save $13 million in salary cap space for the upcoming season as they restructure the deal, play around with it. There is still going to be some leftover stuff from the old deal. It's not that terrible. I think there is going to be a void year still attached to it, what Jane Slater had mentioned. It's a bit unusual to see a player totally redo 2 years left on his contract, but Tank Lawrence gets a new deal. He had no guaranteed money left on that old one. There was leftover signing bonus and restructure stuff the team was going to have to pay on their salary cap, but instead, Tank is sticking around on a much more team-friendly contract. $30 million guaranteed, $40 million in total on this 3-year deal. It's a big deal for the Dallas Cowboys to retain the guy that had been their best defensive player for a couple years in a row. That, of course, changed this year with Micah Parsons balling out and Trayvon Diggs emerging as well. Only 3 sacks, but if we study the game closely, we can tell the level of impact that had been made by Tank Lawrence. For example, not included the QB hit that led to an interception late in the season, the impact run defensive plays. Tank Lawrence is a very, very good football player. This is a big deal for the Cowboys to be able to retain him. I like it a lot for Dallas to keep Tank Lawrence on a much more affordable contract that could also potentially allow them to retain guys like Randy Gregory. It's not insignificant salary cap space saved. In fact, it's actually more cap savings this year than it would have been had he taken a pay cut, and certainly more than if they had flat out cut him. So give me your one-word reaction to the Cowboys keeping DeMarcus Lawrence in the fold for 3 more years. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, let me know one word only to the Cowboys keeping Tank Lawrence. This is cheating, but win and massive, I think, are 2 pretty good ones to use here for the deal with DeMarcus Lawrence. This is a very big impact deal in the end for Tank Lawrence. Getting him on the roster is massive. Keeping him in the fold for the organization instead of moving on from him is useful. Tank Lawrence still a really good football player. Was he living up to the expectations of a $20 million per year deal? No, he certainly was not. $13 million now, $13.3 million per year. That is a much more affordable salary cap hit, and it should be average per year, I should say, for DeMarcus Lawrence. That takes him down from top end to resetting and being more of like a defensive end number 2. For reference here, that's less than Robert Quinn is making from the Chicago Bears. John Franklin Myers is getting more from the New York Jets. Exactly who, producer Sam? Emmanuel Ogbah just got over $16 million. Bud Dupree, Leonard Floyd. That's Josh Sweat money. He's making Josh Sweat, linebacker Shaq Thompson type of money here. So I think this is a fantastic deal by the Dallas Cowboys. Got to keep them healthy. Make no mistake, but this is a smart, shrewd move here by Dallas. We can body them plenty for their other moves. Cedric Wilson is now gone, but this is a good one by the Cowboys. So grade the DeMarcus Lawrence new deal. I am told that it will, this is per media reports as well, that it is a new deal. It throws out the old one. There's some leftover money they got to put on the cap still, whatever, but the cap hit drops significantly, basically cut in half. So grade the DeMarcus Lawrence deal for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments. It's an A for me, but you do have to keep him healthy. You do need DeMarcus Lawrence out there. Now, the foot issue this year is not the first time he's had one. That should be a pretty significant potential red flag as it relates to Tank Lawrence, but as long as he's healthy, he is still young enough and productive enough to be a good part of your core for this year and the next couple of years as he enters his age 30 campaign. I will make note that Lawrence, in terms of base salary, was due $40 million on the last 2 years of his deal. Now, even if the Cowboys had kept him, he wasn't going to see that $21 million in 2023. They were, at that point, most likely going to cut him. It was very much affordable and easy to do so. Make note. Yes, you get the new guaranteed money. That's awesome. I think it's like 7 years in a row now. Tank has a fully guaranteed contract. Cool. He's taking the same amount he was going to make if they kept him the next 2 years, and the Cowboys get a free year out of it. That's a big difference in terms of the impact and the money owed to a player. So, look, I know that the people, the big beat reporters tied to to the agents and whatnot, are saying win-win. I think it's more of a win for the Dallas Cowboys than it is for DeMarcus Lawrence. He could have gotten some pretty good money in the end, I think, on the open market. I think he could have got $13 million per year. I mean, Emmanuel Ogbah, Hassan Reddick went for 16. I think that's doable for him. So I think it's a good deal for the Cowboys. I think it's less than what he would have had he hit the open market. If you have not already, subscribe for the best Cowboys YouTube videos out there. 100% free at youtube.com/CowboysTV. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. And while you're at it, make sure you follow us on Rumble. We have dominated the YouTube platform. Now we're going to go dominate Rumble as well, where I am allowed to say F-bombs, talk about safeties a bit more than maybe producer Brett likes me to. Uncensored video platform, that is rumble.com/CowboysTV. Check the comment section and the description. We'll take care of you. I'll get you the link in there so you can go follow us on that channel. Now, in terms of the overall details, like the cap hits year by year, I'm not sure exactly what those are going to be. I'm not totally sure if there are void years. I know Jane Slater, I think I saw, mentioned there might be one there. There was a void year on the previous deal, so there are some nitty-gritty stuff still to be worked out. I'm sure we'll have that tonight or tomorrow morning. The immediate impact, cap hit goes down significantly for the Cowboys. They keep Tank Lawrence, and then Lawrence gets more guaranteed money on his deal. He was out of guaranteed money on his contract. There was nothing left for him at that particular junction. So to add more guaranteed money for DeMarcus Lawrence is the reason why he does this particular move, and it keeps him in Dallas. After issues in the past with Tank Lawrence's agent and the Dallas Cowboys, they did a pretty good job to get this particular deal done. Let's look now at the defensive end, depth chart for the Dallas Cowboys. DeMarcus Lawrence is back as defensive end number one. Dorrance Armstrong, I assume, is going to be gone as one of your backup edges. That leaves Chauncey Golston, third-round pick out of Iowa last season. Terrell Basham, who they signed last year, has one more year left on his deal. Those could be maybe edge 3, edge 4. You want to rotate Micah Parsons, make no mistake, at edge, so you could survive if you do lose Randy Gregory. But you save a lot of money by restructuring this deal for DeMarcus Lawrence. Maybe you give that $13 million in savings this year to Randy Gregory. There's been a lot of buzz on Gregory. Denver allegedly has interest in adding him. I know the Cowboys want to keep him, but he's on the open market. The open market always drives up player value. That is how free agency works. Even if the Cowboys say they re-sign their own to do that, just the reality, I mean, shoot, you saw Cedric Wilson get almost $8 million per year from the Miami Dolphins. Welcome to life in the NFL. He got the bag for Miami. Good for him. Gregory's going to command a lot if he wants to only chase the money. He may or may not. I think what will happen is Gregory will get offers. He'll come back down and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at here. What can you do for me? If they can meet closer to the higher number, maybe Gregory does take just a little bit less. This is his first chance at real money. You can't blame him too much if he does leave, because that's life-changing stuff for a guy that has not had the level of income that he was hoping he was going to due to various off-the-field and marijuana stuff, which isn't a big deal now anymore, thank goodness. So what do you think? Will Dallas re-sign Randy Gregory? Get your votes in for me in the comments right now. Y for yes or N for no.